So people were excited to find out when Player Battlegrounds was coming to the Xbox platform. As you know, Player Battlegrounds is an exclusive to the PC right now. And if you were to play that public Battlegrounds game on the PC, you may not know this, but it is kind of unoptimized on the PC aspect. It's kind of hard to get that game to run at 60 frames per second. So when people found out that it was coming to the Xbox platform and that you had an Xbox One X, you can actually play it on the X at a solid 60 frames per second. People were actually pretty happy about the news that it was coming to the Xbox platform, but if you had the X, you can play it at 60 frames per second, because on the PC aspect, it's kind of hard to get that game to run at a solid 60 frames per second because it's unoptimized on the PC aspect. Well, you can kind of forget about that altogether. As of right now, it is confirmed that Player Battlegrounds is only going to run at a solid 30 frames per second on the Xbox One X or any version of the Xbox platform, which does kind of sucks. And that's why I really don't understand why Microsoft actually came out with a new Xbox One system or a new Xbox altogether when they're only treating it as a half step. I'm not really a fan of these half step systems when a lot of people out there, even Digital Foundry, have said that the games look substantially better on the Xbox One X for the most part compared to the competition. And it really does seem like the Xbox One X is a brand new console. It really doesn't feel like a half step console if you were to compare it to the original Xbox One hardware, whether that be the Xbox One S or the Xbox One original console. It really does feel like a totally new generation. So I don't understand that. I know they don't really want to separate the fan base. So they want people playing on the Xbox One X at 60 frames per second, and do they want people on the original Xbox One or the Xbox One S playing at a solid 30 frames per second? That just doesn't make sense. They could just separate the fan base, but that wouldn't make sense at all. And they did promise the games to run all the same across the board, minus the enhancements of the graphics and the resolutions and the way the game looks. They wanted to make sure the games run the same on both on all platforms of the Xbox One, whether that be the S, the original one, or the new X. They wanted to make sure they run all the same. And to be fair, with a game that is centered around multiplayer, it does make sense that they would want the resolutions to be the same on the Xbox One X, the Xbox One S, or the Xbox One X. They don't want to give an unfair disadvantage to somebody who paid $500 and somebody who didn't pay $500. I just really wish this wasn't really a thing. It does kind of bother me a little bit, just knowing that the Xbox One X has a lot of power under the hood, but an old console from like 2013 is holding the Xbox One X back just because they have to make sure the game is runnable the same on all three consoles, minus the resolution enhancements on the X. It really does suck. Now you're not going to be able to play Player Battlegrounds Unknown at a solid 60 frames per second if it wasn't for the older Xbox One consoles holding the Xbox One X back. Anyway, guys, this is Wayne from My Tech News, signing out.